What's the plans for the next couple of years then?
Probably in the next few years, definitely become a father.
Next couple of years?
Yeah, probably next few years.
What's the plans for the next couple of years then?
Listen, I don't know. Things always change. For me, I definitely want to continue to grow my companies. And I'm a very good businessman. I'm not where I need to be, in the sense that I wake up and I have a lot of things on my plate. But for example, I still look at people I have friends of mine that have 400 companies. And I scratch my head and go, how the fuck do you manage all that? I don't understand. Like all of these corporate structures and this, like, I don't get it. And that's the next learning that I have for myself, is going even deeper into that world. Because the thing is, once you are well known and you have a track record in business and you have capital, and you have time, it's very unlikely you don't hit a B. You would have to be a real idiot not to become a billionaire. If you have a track record, you have quite a lot of capital, and you have an audience. Deals just fall in your lap. Equity falls in your lap. You get the best of best offers, because people would rather work with you than some other random company that some other investment group and other VC firm. So I'd say growing that side of things, and then I think probably in the next few years, definitely become a father. To be honest,
next couple of years.
Yeah, probably next few years. Yeah, obviously, I grew up in a lot of areas of my life very quickly, and I think, honestly, I'm ready for it now. But
do you think with everything that you got going on, you can put enough time aside to be there?
I guess it depends on what your parenting style is. I have friends of mine whose dads are around all the time, like every single day. Would come back from work, all this, that. And I have friends of mine whose parents would travel a lot, or their dad would travel a lot for work. And he'd go sometimes on, multi-week, sometimes even multi-month expeditions to do something related to his business or his line of work or this, that. And it's been my observation that my friends whose dad was gone for a large part of the year, they have far more respect and they have far more admiration. And I think they seem to prefer it, because I just don't think it's the role of a father to sit and baby and coddle children 24/7. And I do think you need to see
especially in the early years.
Yeah, no, especially in their early years. I mean, really at that point, there's no, I don't see a point. So for me, I think my role and my responsibility would be to make sure that my family is safe, my family's taken care of, and to make sure that I'm going out. And in the same way, you asked me, why haven't you done podcasts? I guess I have that same philosophy, which is like, let me go live some life. Because even if we did this podcast a year ago, there's so much that I've learned in a year, and there's so much that I've gone out and I've had an interest in, and I've had to learn these skills and develop these things and come back with a new, fresh perspective. And if we do this again in a year, which I'm sure we will, it'll probably be a totally different conversation. And I just feel like that's the role, for me at least, the way that I would want to be a father is, of course, be a present father. Of course, be there for the things that matter. And I'm not saying, I'm going to be there 2 months a year. Still be there for majority of the time, but, have no qualms about traveling for 3 weeks for work, for something related to work.
I saw a post or a TikTok where you said that you missed not having a father or father figure to speak to.
Yeah, that was last year. At some point last year, as you said, there's very few people that could kind of relate. And I guess, once again, sometimes I guess you have these fantasies in your mind. Sometimes I started to fantasize for a couple weeks last year. I was like, fuck, like, I love my mom to bits. I adore my mom. I can't tell my mom everything. Yeah. You know how moms are, right? Like, moms are there to like be a support, but like, you can't offload on your mom, because she doesn't. Number one, she doesn't understand the full extent of things. And by the way, that could also apply for a dad as well. But yeah, then she starts worrying, and then now you're like, your offloading has caused even more problems. That's why sometimes, like, as a man, sometimes it's a little tough to even talk to your mom about things to full extent, because then they start worrying, and now you have twice the problems. So at a point last year, I just went through a couple week period where I was like, fuck, like I really have no one I can talk to. You know, I really like, I have no one I can call. And I guess for me, sometimes I do have people ask me, they're like, oh, is it weird, you know, not having a dad? And for me, it's weirder to have a dad. Like, it's weirder that like Father's Day would be a weird concept to me. Or like the fact that like I have to call my mom and my dad is like a weird thing to me. So I like the fact that it's basically just me and my mom. But I went through this.
Do you ever wonder where your life would have gone, what direction it would have taken if you had been brought up in this happy family with both parents who get along with each other? Do you think you would still have had that drive inside of you? I
don't think you have the same drive. No, I don't think the drive is there because you either do things out of inspiration or desperation. And by the way, there's some people who genuinely can do things out of inspiration. I am not one of those people, I'd say. I don't think that's a bad thing either. I think I'm a person that thinks very pessimistically, and that I like that. Like that drives me. Like I like the fact that I like being ultra prepared for situations, rather than like I have friends of mine that are like, oh, all work out. I'm never like, you'll never hear me say that. Oh, all work out. I know. Listen, from a spiritual level, I do believe in the end it will all work out. I do believe that, but I think they'll be like they have a massive issue in their life, and they're like, oh, it'll be fine. I'm like, no, it fucking won't. So. Yeah, it's that's really all to say that when it comes to having a dad, it would be weirder for me to have a dad than not have a dad. I'm just so used to it at this point. And but there was a little phase last year where I was like, I craved it, but as I said, it was probably a fantasy more than anything. Because even if I did have a dad, once again, just because you have a dad doesn't mean that they're going to be able to help you.
Yeah.
And this is I'd say this is definitely one of the big advantages I had in life is I tell people all the time, just because you have a dad, that sometimes that can do more damage than it can benefit. Because as a son, you're going to take on some of your father's beliefs. Now, some people take on 90% of their beliefs, and some people take on 10% of their beliefs. But this sounds terrible, but if fundamentally your father he's trying his best. Bless him, he's trying his best. And most people are trying their best. But he's just not a competent or inspiring person. If he's
stuck in the matrix.
If he has a shattered worldview, if he's been taught the wrong things, then now you're learning the wrong things. So I guess for me, it was the pressure of like, fuck, I got to figure out all this shit on my own. But the blessing of that is I had a clean slate.
Imagine if your dad was there and you were like, Dad, I'm dropping out of school. You'd be like, no, you're fucking not, mate.
Yeah, no. And the issue is you're going to take on, as I said, listen, with the whole C19 stuff, like I really saw with my own two eyes. It's like, imagine if your dad is like forcing you to take these things. And it's like, yeah, I guess I just lost so much faith in men over the last like 3-4 years. Like I truly have. That part of that means that I came to a conclusion a couple of years ago. I'm like, oh fuck, maybe actually it's a great thing I didn't have a dad.
Yeah. Well, no, without a doubt, you're a good role model for a lot of guys who are lost and need somebody to look up to. What advice would you give to those? I guess those guys who have gone through a similar situation to you, where they don't have the father figure in their life. What would you say to them?
Be very careful who your influences are. Be very, very careful who your influences are, what people you're watching, what people you're looking at, because I think it becomes especially amplified if you don't have a father in your life. And I'm talking about the people online even. The people you look at online start to become almost like your uncles, because you don't really have that father figure to tell you, oh no, that's not the way this works, son. So I would just say, especially if you don't have a dad in your life who, like, if you learn some stupid shit online, whether that be, once again, when it comes to relationships or business or worldview or whatever it is, if you learn some stupid shit online and you don't have that father to put you in your place and be like, that's not how this works, it becomes even more dangerous. So definitely be very careful who you're looking at online.
Nice one. So I think we're going to wrap it up. Before I finish, Going to give Educate a little plug. I know you don't like to plug your own stuff too much, but I'll do it for you. Okay. Go and check it out if you want to. What is Educate? Tell me, enlighten me.
Educate is basically masterclass. I'm very product focused and product driven. Educate is basically masterclass for hard skills. Masterclass is amazing. I think it's a great platform, but like I also don't give a shit about learning how to cook for $250 a year. Like, it's great, like it's interesting, but like at a certain stage, you just need to learn core practical skills. So Educate is like masterclass for hard skills. So we've got educators that come on, I'm in there at teaching agency. We've got educators, the top sales expert in the world, who actually works in my company, looks through tens of thousands of, or 10,000 plus, sales roles per year. We've got, my CMO who teaches copywriter, and then we've got a bunch of other programs coming out. So we've got guys like Jordan Welch, who's here in Dubai right now. He's coming on and doing a program inside of Educate. So basically just getting the brightest minds in the entire world and giving you a full package of all the best ways, the highest income skills that you can learn. And we do that for $125 a month. First year paid up front. And then from there, rolling month by month, can cancel anytime.
Nice, man. Thank you very much for coming on. Much appreciated. And I keep thinking, what is the 30-year-old Iman going to be like? Considering like everything you've achieved now at your age, it's mental.
Yeah, who knows, bro? Maybe I'll just be smoking weed every day and surfing. You never know. You never know.
Yeah, awesome, man.
Appreciate you, bro. Thank you.